Bhutani. Sanjay is the country manager at Bausch & Lomb India. Sanjay has over 31 years of experience, corporate experience, and his previous stints include Brightpoint India and Schlumberger India.
Schlumberger.
Very, very difficult to pronounce, Sanjay, so
Right, I know.
pardon me for that. Sanjay is an alumni of IIM Calcutta, and he's also an associate member of Institute of Cost and Work Accounts of India and Institute of Company Secretaries of India, and he has done his law from Delhi University. So Sanjay, the question that is coming to you is, basically we all have seen that the single specialty clinics, particularly the eye care clinics, have been severely impacted in both the waves. There were lockdowns, there were other issues, and elective surgeries have been negatively impacted. And also the retail eye care chains and retail as a segment as a whole has been negatively impacted, because somewhere there is a lockdown, somewhere there is some other issue, supply chain issues and other issues. So what has been your learnings from the pandemic, and how do you plan to sail through and build an organization which is more resilient for the future? And also, can you highlight some of the challenges and opportunities that arose during this pandemic? Because these will be very important for some of the organizations which are dealing in the retail segment, in the segment where even if they have the product, but due to restrictions, the products cannot be used because people are not going for cataract procedures, and because of the age, and they know that they are vulnerable, so they are avoiding it, which is also again a issue, because there will be a preventive blindness issue. But people are trying to avoid elective surgeries as a whole, and we have seen serious consequences, but you can't do anything because the hospitals have been dedicated to treating the COVID first. So very peculiar situation where you have a retail side of products and you have these kind of products, and you have a challenge where because of no fault of, I think, the sales team or anybody, but the products cannot be used. So how do you overcome these kind of challenges, and then what are the opportunities you see and your learnings? Over to you, Sanjay.
Thank you, Gaurav, first of all, and to your entire team, and also to the people like who are listening us, and to my co-panelists. So if I maybe want to answer your question in three parts. What was the impact of the COVID? And then what as an organization we have done, where we are, and how do we kind of see the future? And for those of you like who don't know Bausch & Lomb, we are into like selling contact lens solution in the country, which is a kind of FMCG healthcare product. And also on the surgical side, where we sell cataract, medical devices, IOL. So two different kind of businesses brings in also maybe different challenges during the COVID time. So what I think, Gaurav, prior to COVID, no, the world was, there was an empathy deficit in the world, which was kind of growing. But with COVID coming in, I think, as Umesh also said, they have done like a lot more maybe than a usual time. So I think the organizations have become more empathetic during the COVID time. I'm really proud to work for Bausch & Lomb, because I want to maybe use this opportunity to give some of the examples as an organization we've done to make it more resilient. Being a multinational, no, we saw this coming a bit early, right? Because it was happening in China, then it was in Europe, and speaking to our peers, like what they've been doing. So we quickly, before the lockdown, no, we created some IT systems for training, right? Because we thought like we might get into a lockdown situation in India, though the number of cases was very less. But in a record time of maybe two weeks to 20 days, we were able to create a system where all the training programs were like you can handle that remotely. So when it came, the first thing I spoke to my CFO. I said, cash is very, very important. And you guys know that, right? And if you have cash in the bank, then you would survive maybe whatever lockdowns or maybe any situation that would come across. And then we also discussed and said that there are maybe thousands of expenses in the company which you can cut down. And human resource should be the last. So I'm really proud to say that we have not fired anybody in the company, right? We gave all our increments which were due in April 2020 and April 21. Right? We had prior to pandemic issued certain appointment letters, not only to maybe some of the against the vacancies, but generally we as an organization, we go to the colleges and maybe hire trainees. So all those trainees we hired, I think we hired about 7-8 trainees, though we kind of maybe lingered a bit because of the lockdown. So we honored all our commitments which were made. Then this time, Gaurav, we also, people talk about PPE. So we devised our own term as PPE. So first was people, right? So safety of our people and the well-being of our people was very, very important. Next comes the product, right? So because it's healthcare product relating to vision, then we ensured that as a company, even during the difficult times, that our product is available to our patients, to the doctors. And then we made like different arrangements. Some distributors were open because they were also pharma distributors. We made sure the inventories were there. And then E stands for empathy. Right? So need to be very, very empathic. So we went ahead and took insurance, specific COVID insurance for all our employees and their family members. Right? We created a very robust protocol document, which we worked together with CII, FICCI, and AmCham, and getting maybe global best practices to implement in the country. In fact, I had to maybe close my regional offices because cost was very important. Make sure like we are not going down to the level where maybe we need to ask people to go. So that was an opportunity. We closed our offices, regional offices, because anyways, people were working from home. In fact, like till date, we are working from home. So we've not opened our offices yet because safety is very, very important. So then that opportunity we took also to streamline like our internal staff. In fact, we were looking to upgrade our ERP system. So which we were waiting for in the normal times because it disrupts operations. So we went ahead and people working from home, we upgraded our ERP system, right? We are now in the process of implementing a distributor management system, which gives you visibility till the retailer level, right from the employee to the distributor to the retail. So these are also some of the steps which are progressive and would help the company to grow much faster. We've done training of about 10,000 optometrists, right? And NKOLs and ECPs across country. And that was through almost like 1,000+ training. So to make them more aware of products, how to use that, and then also gain their confidence that it's not only like companies interested only in selling products, they're also like there to train people. We sat down with Optometry Council of India and AIS, and we created those protocols. So when patients are coming back, how would an optometrist maybe in a retail shop look at the patient? Similarly, for a cataract surgery, what all is required? So we've got some best practices from our counterparts internationally. And then together with the administrative groups of AIS and Optometry Council of India, we prepared those documents which are circulated. Then the other thing, what we were seeing was that on the contact lens side, the patient, because the optical stores were closed, they were moving like online, right? So we also trained our team, and then we shifted all our A&P spends from offline media to digital media, right? So that was another change. And training our people on online stuff, and then uh, also with this change, right? We are not as big as Ultratech, what Umesh was talking about, from 42,000 crores to 44,000 crores. We are like a smaller company in India. So we thought it's also, I think, right time, considering like what patients are looking at, are cheaper products, safer products. So we have a lens called Eye Connect. So we launched a daily Eye Connect, which was much cheaper and more safer because it's a daily lens. So from patient safety perspective also. So right now what we're doing, and this is what we are progressing with to maybe go on, and how do we address the market and the growth opportunities. So we are launching like more and more low cost products. And then in terms of distribution, which was already like the biggest in the country among the industry and the competition. So we are growing our distribution by 2.5 times. So we started that exercise in quarter 3. We intend to maybe finish that by end of this year. So these are some of the steps which, as a company, I think would help us to grow faster. And specifically coming to, because cataract and contact lenses are both elective, people might, and then you can always push the cataract surgery to maybe after some time when things are normal. So I was speaking to one of the top KOLs. This was like before the second wave, and he said on a Saturday the number of patients in the OPD were highest ever. So patients are coming back in that opportunity. So it's not that the patients are not there. Specifically, if the hospitals and the stores are following like COVID appropriate guidelines, then they are there. So as an organization, with a lot of things what we have done, so one more thing what we've done was, um, our sales was not growing, so we got an impact or effect on the sales number. So even on the reduced forecast, where employees were able to achieve, we went ahead and paid incentives to them. So it was not that we held the incentives because it was a bad year. So we paid all bonuses, all incentive, all salary increases. So that's maybe I think the best part of the organization, being very empathetic. Some of the questions I was reading on the chat, what are you doing about the mental health of the employees? So every 2-3 weeks, HR is organizing some program. At times we've done on mental health also, where we invited doctors to maybe talk to the employees. Because nobody has lost the job, even our temporary employees has not lost the job. So we don't see that much of a challenge in our organization right now. Yeah, and but also to keep them engaged. So HR is kind of maybe organizing those kind of events every 2 to 3 weeks, where at times they would play tambola with the team on a Saturday evening. So I think with all this, what the company has done, employees kind of really realize that, and we have taken a challenge. So in terms of our productivity, now the call rate is 1.5 times what we used to do earlier. So that's what, if you be an empathetic company, so it's not like it's only one side. People would also kind of respond equally and maybe with same strength and motion. So hopefully once this hedonic is over, so maybe I think the parties and going back to the office, we would start again. So over to you, Gaurav.
No, thanks a lot. I think great insights, Sanjay. And I liked one of your point about honoring the commitments, right? Because this is one of the major issue which has happened, where a lot of employees resented that in April, when the annual increments were due and the annual incentives were due, and a lot of companies actually didn't pay the increments as well as incentives, and maybe their fault also, not their fault also, because they had to do the cost optimization. But also, I think it is a very good step.
Right. So one more question I missed that on the supply chain side. Quickly, 1 minute. So we created like backups for our warehouses. So we have a main mother warehouse in Gurgaon. We created one in Mumbai and one in Chennai, so that any warehouse getting into lockdown, you have maybe inventory available. At the distribution level, we created like distributor to have like 2 points of inventory. Maybe if he has a office or a go down, or maybe keep maybe smaller, fast moving SKUs at his home. So in case a distributor is coming under lockdown, he can maybe supply from another place. In case the entire state comes under lockdown, a doctor still requiring a IOL, for example. So you created the infrastructure where the distributor from the neighboring state would supply. And it also required like all the IT backup to change in maybe just 15 minutes. So that kind of
I think that is very good.